All right, Mr. Coleman Domingo, I'm rooting for you. Let's see how this turns out. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my The Madness limited series review on Netflix. And if this is your first time finding me, you happen to like the video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. All right, guys, now we have The Madness, which is streaming on Netflix for you to watch at home on your comfy couch, bed, or wherever you are. This is being directed or created by Steven Belber. This is what the gentleman looks like right here. If we scroll down and look at that filmography, we will see what he was responsible for: management, and What We Do Next. I have not seen any of these. If you have, please let me know in the comment section below. He's more responsible for writing, and I am not familiar with any of these properties right here. But you guys let me know what you think if you are a fan of Mr. Steven Belber. But when it does come to The Madness, I saw the trailer. I was interested. I am a fan of Coleman Domingo. I have not seen every film or television show that he has been a part of, but there have been a few that I did like Lincoln, Selma, Fear the Walking Dead, The Color Purple. I didn't see Sing Sing or Rustin, but heard great things about both. Actually, he was nominated for an Oscar for Rustin, so I need to put that on a list. But his filmography is getting pretty deep, and so I'm a fan of Coleman Domingo. Of course, black men always want black people to win. I want people to win regardless, but you know, I gotta look out for the blacks. But anyway, I'm a fan of Coleman Domingo, and he was solely the reason why I was interested in this Netflix television series. But it seems like it has to do with white supremacy, a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, conspiracies, government, just a bunch of underground stuff going on, assassins. That's right up my alley. I love those type of things. And so I was hoping for the best. My expectations weren't high for this. They were about mediocre, but I was hoping for the best, like we always do when we press play on some type of entertainment, television, movie, whatever it is. But before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this series, The Madness, is all about. Media pundit Muncie Daniels must fight for his innocence and his life after he stumbles upon a murder deep in the Poconos. So the first thing that I liked about this is I think that everybody can relate to this scenario of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that is where we get our main character, Mr. Muncie Daniels, Coleman Domingo, at the very, very beginning of this series. You really don't have to wait too much time at all for the ball to get rolling, because it starts when he's already in the mess, trying to survive, and then it goes back in time to let you know how everything began. So I do like that there. Also, at the very beginning of the series, we get a nice montage of his life, what he does when he wakes up, what he eats for lunch, where he goes for dinner, how he prepares for bed and wakes up in the morning, and all of that. And I respect his routine. He's somebody that takes care of himself mentally and physically. I always like somebody that exercises and participates in extracurricular activities. And they're able to do all of that with just in a few seconds of the opening scenes, opening credits of this series. And so you're like, okay, I like this guy. You know, he's take care of himself. That's what's up. He's not waking up in a recliner with a wife beater with stains everywhere and beer bottles all over the place. Not that that's just common anyway, but they just gave you a great introduction to his character to start off, to get you on the side. And of course, I just appreciate those little things like that. But going back to what I was saying is, everybody, or for the most part, have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. But last night when I was taking a walk, I took a detour and passed by a construction zone site. And I'm just saying to myself, as I'm walking, I could actually see a car accident. I can see somebody get robbed. I can see this, I can see that. Anyone can see anything like that, especially when you're going away from your routine. And that's kind of the case with Muncie Daniels here. And then you're just thrown into a giant web of BS. And that's how this man ended up in this situation. Wrong place at the wrong time. Just trying to live his normal life, go throughout his day with no issues. And it's like, damn, out of all the people, why did I have to stumble upon this? And he just cannot get out of the situation. Everything continues to escalate more and more and more. Higher up the power of chain, with government officials, white supremacists, secretaries, this, that, everybody. And it's just like, I just want to go home. I just want to have a sandwich, have a glass and lemonade, and be with my family. But no, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I am caught up in this mess, and I don't want to be a part of it. I ain't gonna snitch. Just leave me alone. And so I do like that dynamic right there. That was pretty cool. It really sucks for the character, but you're able to relate to the character in that degree. I like that Muncie Daniels has his own sense of style and swag. He is respected amongst his online community. He's a public figure. He is a pundit on CNN. So people know who he is. And so it really makes his situation worse when his name and face is being plastered all over the news of not just some regular civilian, but a CNN pundit. And we all have heard of CNN before. It's a pretty popular outlet, whether you like it or not. I also like that he's a decent father, and we're gonna have to come back to that. But he's not the best father. He's a decent father. His wife and or ex-wife, daughter and son really do love him, and they do respect him. There is love there. And I do have a complaint nitpick or two about his family, which I'll get to later. But in the very beginning of this series, I liked the relationship that he had with his family. That was a great dynamic right there, especially the one that he had with his son early on. Now, this is 8 episodes. They are coming in at around 40 to 45 minutes. They don't drag. The pacing is pretty decent. So on top of that, he has a great relationship with his peers, his colleagues, his online presence, and a pretty decent relationship with his family. They all love the man. He loves his family. Again, not the best father, but he's doing what he can and trying to correct those mistakes that he made in the past. And this is being described as a conspiracy thriller crime drama. And I agree with all those. It has the drama, it has the crime, it has the conspiracy, and you want to know who is at the top pulling all the strings, controlling everything. And to give the series credit, I had no idea how it was going to end. It was very, very unpredictable. Characters that I thought was going to make it all the way to the end up dying. People that I thought was going to die end up living. And there's a whole bunch of mixing up in between those two aspects as well. I did not know what to expect. I did not know who was in control. It was a guessing game pretty much all the way to the very end. And of course, I do appreciate that. No one wants to know everything before it happens. I also like the fact that at the midpoint of this series, there were characters that I did not care anything about. But when we got to episode 5, it was a complete 180. And I started to care about those characters out of nowhere. It just made me attach myself to the series more, hoping for a possible ending. We'll talk about that in a moment, but I ended up really liking some of the characters that were pretty much slime balls in the first 4 episodes. Now, this is not action heavy at all, but there is a few gunfights, wrestling here and there, and some deaths, but this is not an action heavy show. If you're looking for that, this may not be for you. It is more of a thriller drama and just a guessing game on trying to figure out who is responsible for what. And there were a few laughs between the episodes as well. This is definitely not a comedy, more of you laughing at the situation with it being hilarious, someone making a request that just seems completely unorthodox, and seeing the reaction of the person on the other end of the phone or email or whatever. I found a lot of joy in that right there, especially between Muncie Daniels, Coleman Domingo's character, and his wife, who is being played by Miss Marsha Stephanie Blake. I've never heard of her before. She's a Jamaican sister born in 1975. Let's just take a quick little look at her filmography. Man, she has 56 credits. I mean, she was in $1 Million Heist, Dolores Hudson. I just got done covering that. I honestly don't remember her. It says 3 episodes. I love Law and Order, especially SVU. But if you are a fan of her, please let me know in the comment section down below. But Miss Marsha Blake right here, she had this white afro in the show, and I loved it. I loved it because it was a fro, and I love my fros, and I loved it because it was white. It reminds me of Storm. The way that Muncie Daniels and his wife gets along in this series right here is pretty entertaining. Just a moment ago when I was saying that you have certain characters that react to others on the other end of the phone, there was a conversation going on between them, and just her reaction to the request that Muncie made, my jaw hit the floor. It may not have been that funny to you. It won't be as funny to all groups, but it was funny to me, and I laughed about that. And that's just kind of sprinkled throughout this entire show. So they have a decent relationship, whether their relationship is rocky or not. This is Mr. Stadius J. Mixon. He is the son of Muncie Daniels, Coleman Domingo, by the name of Demetrius. He really does look up to his father. He was also a part of Creed 3. He played Adonis as a younger age at the age of 15 years old. He was also in Candy Cane Lane with Eddie Murphy that came out last year. That was barely okay. But this gentleman right here is on my radar. I liked him in this series and I wish him well in the future. We also have Dion Cole in this. He's more of a comedian than actor, in my opinion. I mean, he may do both. He may act more than he's a comedian, but I like Dion Cole in this. He had a brief role. I will say that I like him more as a comedian than an actor. Not trying to crap on him saying that he can't act. I just, appreciate that a bit more. And then last but not least, we have Gabrielle Graham. I've never heard of her or seen her before. It says that she is born in Toronto, who is also Jamaican. And she's on my radar right here, definitely. If we scroll down and look at her filmography, I have not seen any of the properties that she has been a part of. You guys let me know. But she is the daughter of Muncie Daniels in this series. And their relationship was the most complicated because she does love her father, but you can tell by the way that she talks to him that he messed up somewhere as she was coming up, and she kind of has a chip on her shoulder. Now, she's still down for her dad and will ride for him 10 toes down and will do whatever she can to help him out. But, their relationship is a bit estranged right there. So those are the characters. Pretty good for the most part. You're rooting for them. Even the antagonists in this film are pretty deadly and threatening while also being completely random. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. But I like Muncie Daniels. I like this family. I like his circle. And I was rooting for him. And again, I like that I wasn't able to predict anything. And, it was pretty entertaining at points, So those are the good things that I really did like about this show. Now let me get to parts of the bad that just really didn't work out for me. This series is 8 episodes. And as far as my interest level, it was a roller coaster. Some episodes I was just really into at the edge of my seat. Some I was bored and falling asleep. To be more specific, episodes 1 and 2 were fantastic, but then episodes 3 and 4, it was I don't want to say a dip in quality or the production, it just, my interest was just fading away and I really didn't care where the series was going. Muncie Daniels, the character, was just on the ground 100 miles an hour trying to figure out this case that is being put against him. Now, I do like his character as far as him just saying, okay, I need to do this for myself. I don't want to give all of the authority to the police or the FBI or whoever. I don't want to just sit on my hands and wait for them to figure it out. I am being framed here. People are trying to kill me. People are trying to come after my family. So I'm going to have to get involved myself. I do like that a ton. That's what's up right there. I respect his character for that. And just people in general, when they try to take matters into their own hands and be like, I want to be in control of my own destiny. Thing I don't like about that is it did seem a bit unrealistic how he was able to weasel himself out of all these situations. I was just saying, wait a minute. You are not just an average civilian. You're a little bit above that as far as access and public perception. But at the same time, you are not some assassin. You are not some trained expert. This is not your day-to-day life to where you will know how to maneuver around so easily without getting caught. A number of times, not even towards the end of this, I'm like, how are you able to get out of the situation? This just doesn't make any sense right here. You are lucky as hell. So Muncie is just super duper lucky in this series. I was just kind of over that. I really didn't care for it. That didn't make much sense to me. Now, while I said episodes 1 and 2 were great and episodes 3 and 4 kind of dipped with my interest, when we go from episodes 4 to 5, that's where things picked up. I was like, oh, okay, hell yeah. We are at the midway point now. I love how episode 5 is starting out. This is great. I am back to the edge of my seats. And again, at this point is where characters started to shift for me. The first 4 episodes, you had this character right here I didn't care about at all. If they would have died, I wouldn't have lost a moment of sleep. But then at the very beginning of episode 5, I was like, oh, okay, I like you now. Let's go. Let's get the job done. Let's accomplish this mission. And then that was up and down all the way to the end. I liked episode 5. Then episode 6 was okay. And then I liked episode 7. And then we're going to talk about episode 8. So it was just a roller coaster. 1 and 2 were great. 3 and 4 I didn't care for. Episode 5 I loved. Episode 6 I did. Episode 7 I loved. And I didn't really care for that. So it was just kind of a roller coaster. And that was a bit jarring for me, a little bit annoying. Now, while I did like the family, I don't like the way they wrote the family as far as him having an estranged relationship with his children and wife. I don't know if they are still married right now, separated or divorced. It seemed like they was going back and forth with that narrative there. And I just don't understand why you did not write the story to where he is married with his family living all under the same roof. Now, if you wanted to have them separated, that's fine, because people do get divorces and they do get separated in real life. Every family does not just live happily ever after. That's unfortunate. Not saying that a family can't be happy with the husband and wife, but the series did not go in depth to what the actual problem was in the relationship. I spoke earlier and said that everybody loves everybody. Muncie Daniels loves his wife or ex-wife or soon to be ex-wife and his 2 kids, and they love him. But the series never goes into any detail of why they broke up in the first place. The series never goes into any detail of why he has this weird relationship with his daughter. The series never goes into the same thing, the relationship with his son, other than we just know that his son looks up to him a hell of a lot. What happened? I want to know, whether there's some infidelity. Did someone cheat? Did someone do this? Did someone do that? Let me know what the reason is. And I don't feel like the series gave us those answers. If the series did give us those answers and I missed it because I just wasn't paying attention, my interest dipped on those few episodes that I said wasn't as great as the others. And so my bad there. Respectfully, let me know in the comment section. But I wanted to know these things, and we're just left to figure them out for ourselves, and we never do at the very end. It's frustrating because I'm just watching this series. I'm like, man, why don't y'all renew y'all vows and get together and work things out? Y'all still are attracted to each other physically and sexually, mentally, spiritually, all that. Y'all still love each other. Yeah, y'all may have some rocky moments here and there, but work this out, okay? This is crazy. And the way that the wife is showing up for the husband when he had a request, like, babe, I need your help. Y'all need to work this out. I don't understand why they couldn't be married. That just really bugged me. I also hated the way that this series ended. I didn't like episode 8 at all. It was extremely anticlimactic. Nothing really happened. It was what happened at the end of this, it just wouldn't happen in the real world. I was just sitting here like, really? Are these characters dreaming right now? Because this is stupid. This is dumb. I cannot see any scenario where events would play out this way when you have the protagonist versus the antagonist. That just doesn't make any sense. And also, I don't like the way that the character story ended in this series with anybody, with Muncie Daniels, with the wife, with the daughter, with the son, with the FBI agent, with this other supporting character over here, here, and there. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I didn't like anybody's ending in their character arc. Not one character had an ending that I liked, where they were good, they were bad, or in the middle. And I just think that's awful. There was also some deaths in this series that were completely unnecessary as well. I did not want these characters to go out this way. And even when these characters did die, the way they brushed over it, you had to wait a couple of episodes. I'm like, wait a minute, what happened here? But then by the time we address it, it's too late and I don't care anymore. We're moved over here to the next. I didn't care for that either. That was very, very underdeveloped, and it's frustrating as hell too. And I just also don't feel like any justice was served. I feel like the bad guys, in a sense, got off scot-free, and that's extremely unfortunate. You can tell by the writing, they just did not know how to end this series. They didn't, and that's very, very unfortunate, very, very frustrating, very, very annoying. And one of the biggest scenes with this is the relationship that he had with his son, Demetrius. It was decent for the duration of this series, but in episode 8, it just crashed and burned. I just said that they didn't know how to end this. They definitely didn't know how to end this with the relationship with the son. I thought that was horrible. It was cringy. It was like, what the hell is going on? It was just dumb. It was dumb, random. And again, just, you're going to know what I'm talking about. I'll just say this. When Demetrius is kicking a gate, you're going to be like this, like, what the hell? This is stupid. This is dumb. And I don't like it. I don't like it. Guys, I would say that the ending of this series is disappointing, but my expectations weren't high to begin with. If I want to recommend this or not, I mean, I still go ahead and say watch the series. You may find some enjoyment of it, but you definitely don't need to rush to see this. It's just a limited series. We're not going to be getting a season 2, I don't think. But the characters are good. Like, Coleman Domingo, he's great in this. I like him, okay? And, you know, there's nothing wrong with the cast. It's just the story of this is the main thing that I just didn't like. I just didn't like the story, and I did not like the ending. If they could have gave us a better ending, and they don't even necessarily have to be happy ever after, just a better ending, and a story that was just a bit more realistic and fluid. I would have liked this much more. I will go ahead and give my rating for this at the very end, guys, but for now, that is just my opinion, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this series, if you did enjoy this review, please let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. I am dying to know all of your thoughts. Comment, subscribe, share the video, all that good stuff. But if I had to rate The Madness out of a 1 out of 10, I give it a 5.5 out of 10. Yes, a 5.5 out of 10. And this is just my feelings for this, when it ended. I was just like, okay, I didn't say to myself, okay, that was great. I was just like, okay, I wish I would have spent my time watching something else. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget, my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.